It's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would, please rise. Mr. Tim Halstead with New Life Church, if you could come forward and lead us in invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of living in the greatest country on earth, and in particular in the wonderful city of Odessa, Texas. Father, this week we're mindful of celebration of Veterans Day yesterday. We thank you for the men and women that have served and continue to serve in the military that protect us and keep us safe. Continue to bless them. Father, I thank you for the men in uniform and women in uniform in this city, those that serve in our police department and those that serve in the fire department. Father, I pray that you continue to watch over them each and every day. I particularly am thankful that they choose to drive vehicles that say, "In God we trust," because that's where we feel that we have our confidence. And Father, I thank you for this assembly tonight. I thank you for Mayor Turner and his leadership. Help him to be wise and discerning as he deals with the issues of this town and what we need. I thank you for the men and women on this council. I pray that their time together tonight is productive, that they are patient, that they continue to serve with intentions of bettering the living situation for all of us here. I thank you for what they've done in the past, for what they will continue to do in the future. And Father, for some of the institutions in town, I thank you for our schools, and for our churches, and for our businesses. And I know that the decisions made here tonight will have impact on all those areas. And so I just pray blessings on these few hours that we'll spend together as a community. Help it to be a time that we all walk away feeling good about. Father, thank you for your son Jesus, and we pray in his precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for your prayer. This time, Councilmember Bryant will lead us in the pledges.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. Under proclamations, awards, and presentations, we do have one proclamation, but I would like to recognize all of our young people from Permian. Okay, well, welcome. We know you're here of your own free will, that nobody told you to come here, so we just wanted to welcome you. If Eddie Landrum could come forward, please. We have a proclamation for GIS Day. It says, whereas the City of Odessa recognizes that there is an understanding, use, and application of geopartial technology, and it is crucial to operating our infrastructure, sustaining our natural resources, and stimulating economic growth, thus benefiting the welfare of the general public throughout Odessa. Geographic Information Systems, GIS, technology allows us to see and model complex relationships and patterns to more intelligently respond. And there is a need to promote GIS awareness, education, technical training, and use of this rapidly developing technology to its full potential. The City of Odessa acknowledges that they have chosen GIS and their profession as a part of the discipline to improve the lives of our citizens, to recognize the support and efforts of nonprofits who work on activities to improve conservation, human services, and various humanitarian efforts to better our world. The City of Odessa Geointelligence Division is committed to utilizing GIS to inform decision-making and better serve the residents to make useful geographic information open and easily available to the public as a platform for innovation. Now, therefore, I, David R. Turner, by the virtue of authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Odessa, do hereby proclaim November 13th, 2019 as GIS Day. Congratulations.
I just want to take this opportunity to invite everybody out tomorrow in this room here and also in the conference room from 10 to 3. We'll be displaying what we do with GIS and how it interacts with other departments. So please come out and see us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll move to other council actions. We are actually going to proceed with number 8 first. So it's under ordinances. So we will consider amending the existing Odessa City Code, Chapter 5, Fire Prevention and Protection. Ms. Muncy.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this ordinance item is to consider increasing the city's contribution rate from 20% to 26% into the Odessa Firefighters Relief and Retirement Fund, and that's based on all of our active members' wage. And that would be beginning January 1, 2020. And we would be lowering the active members' contribution rate from 18% to 16% starting January 2020. This comes about, this is a separate retirement plan for our firefighters, and they have had some things going on with their plan. Part of it is lack of enough employees contributing to the plan, and so it was reviewed by the Texas Pension Review Board, and they are looking for us to make some changes to make the plan more viable into the future. And so this is one of the steps that we're taking in order to do that. The effect of this will cause a budget amendment once the second approval of the ordinance is done at our next meeting in 2 weeks. Then we will also have a resolution to change our general fund budget to account for the money that's necessary to make this change. We're also hoping by doing this decrease to the employees' contribution level, for many years they were at 15%, and a couple of years ago they raised it to 18% to help out with the plan. And we're hoping by decreasing this 2%, it will help with our retention and recruitment for firefighters into the city fire department, which is heavily needed. They put in a lot of overtime right now. We do have some members of the board. If anybody has questions, or I would like to recognize that they're here. Board members, do you want to stand up? There's Kathy. Seth is actually controller of the city, and then y'all spoke to being the other 9. Okay.
Great.
Do y'all have any comments y'all would like to add? Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, I need to abstain from the vote.
We will have one abstention. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move to other council actions. Consider accepting a donation from Chevron Products Company to the Odessa Fire and Rescue. Chief Alvarez.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is to consider a resolution for accepting donation from Chevron Products Company to Odessa Fire Rescue and appropriating the funds from this donations. The Odessa Fire Rescue requests that this resolution be approved to accept and appropriate the necessary funds received from this donation. I'm not sure if Chevron is here, and the amount for that is $24,500. Kaylee, there she is. I guess for us, on behalf of Odessa Fire Rescue, if you'll come up here, Kaylee, she might want to say a few things. Maybe. Thank you so much. Just on behalf of Odessa Fire Rescue, we just want to say, to Chevron, thank you for your generosity. We at the City of Odessa Fire Rescue, we appreciate this donation, your sacrifice. Your support always helps us further our mission in the services that we provide to our community. So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have a good relationship with our industry partners. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. It's been an incredible relationship with the Odessa Fire Department. Over the years, we really rely on them, and we appreciate the partnership, especially operating within the city. And so we're so proud and thankful that we're able to contribute. Thank you for everything you and your team does.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 2, consider accepting a donation from Synergy Entertainment to the Odessa Fire and Rescue. Chief Alvarez.
Okay, same here, Mayor and Council. This is to consider resolution accepting donation from Synergy Entertainment to Odessa Fire Rescue, Public Safety Communications, and Police Department for the funds from this donation. We ask that you approve and accept and appropriate the necessary funds. I do know we've got our general manager, Chris Maples, here that represented Synergy. I can tell you that right after the August 31st event, they did a fundraiser September 4th, and all the proceeds that they received from that fundraiser were distributed among those 3 agencies. So on behalf of the City of Odessa, thank you very much, Chris, for the donations and Police Department and Public Safety Communications. Again, your support's going to help us further our mission on what we do every day, day in, day out. So thank you again for being a good partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. City, is that 1 for 3? Okay? Or do we need-
Let's just do 3 separate.
Okay.
I move for approval on number 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 4, we just need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, move to public hearings. We will open a public hearing to consider the approval of the request by Lament 325. Mr. Brindley.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The city mailed out 9 notices related to this request. We did not have any notices returned. We did not receive a written protest. We did receive 1 written approval. The property involved in the request is located south of the intersection of Santa Isabella Street and Mission Boulevard. This site is currently designated Future Development and Zone Plan Development Office, and the site is vacant. Land use in the general area does consist of single-family residential development, and there's also golf course and vacant land in this area. The applicant and property owner is Lament 325 Incorporated. Newton Engineering is the agent in this request, and the purpose of the zoning request would facilitate development of 27 single-family residential lots. These lots range in size from a little over a quarter acre up to 5.75 acres. Land use in this, excuse me, land use in this general area does consist of single-family residential development, and the zoning in the area is predominantly special dwelling districts. This tract will have 1 entrance initially. However, the future development will provide connections to additional development and also to the existing street and road grid system. A gated neighborhood is not out of character with the surrounding neighborhood, and this would fit well with the nearby residential amenities that are existing. Planning and Zoning Commission did give unanimous approval to these requests, and the planning staff does concur with this recommendation for approval and be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from council? Okay, this is a public hearing, so at this point, I will open up the floor for anyone who'd like to comment on this agenda item. If you would, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 6, open up public hearing to consider the approval of the request by LECO. Mr. Brenly.
Yes, sir. The city mailed out 14 notices related to this request. We did not have a notice returned, we did not receive a written protest, and we did receive one written approval related to the request. The property involved in this request is located west of the intersection of North Grandview Avenue and Boise Drive. This site is currently designated Special Dwelling District Drill Reservation. It is vacant. Land use in the general area does consist of single-family residential development and vacant land. The applicant and property owner is LECO Energy and Investments. LCA is the agent. And the purpose of this rezone request is to add approximately 0.23 acres to 3 existing lots that are lots 81, 82, and 83 of Block 2 of the Desert Ridge subdivision. And this, there is existing residential development on these 3 lots. We did receive documentation related to the release of this part of the drill reservation. This area is located in the north central area of the City of Odessa's future land use map. This area is considered one of the prime areas for new residential growth in Odessa. The proposed rezoning will be located near existing single-family housing, and the use of the property involved in this request is compatible with existing land uses in this area. Also, by reshaping the drill reservation, taking off this little outcropping and reshaping to the more traditional square or rectangular shape, will minimize any negative impact to adjacent residential properties that this drill site may produce. The Planning and Zoning Commission did give unanimous approval to this request, and planning staff does concur with this recommendation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Brenly? Okay, this is a public hearing, so we will open up the floor for anyone who would like to comment on this agenda item. If you would, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Brenly.
Yes, sir.
Next under ordinances, consider repealing the existing Odessa City Code Chapter 4 business regulations. Mr. Jones.
Mayor, council members, how are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Okay. We are essentially repealing the old sexually oriented business ordinance that we have. And now some of the differences that we are adding in this new one, and this just takes in Jaguars over there, the annexation. Some of the details is, 1, human trafficking. The old ordinance did not do that. And that's something that Cleopatra Calloway spoke about the other night at the Black Bar, the Black Chamber of Commerce. And she was speaking about that, and that's something that is going on in a lot of these places. So that's something that we want to make sure that we're covered legally. So human trafficking is covered. And we've also got a criteria for non-entertainers and entertainers. Chief Gerke just informed me that here just a few days ago, they went out there and arrested one of the waitresses who was selling dope. So that's why we want to have this enacted, so that we can basically scan who comes and goes, who works there, as I was telling y'all earlier. So that's one of the things that we're doing here with this new ordinance. And of course, we're going to be able to do inspections. And we're also going to have, Chief Gerke will have the ability to do suspensions and revocations. And it will also allow y'all to appoint a board, who appeals board basically, that if their license gets suspended or revoked by the chief, they'll be able to come to the board that y'all appoint and basically ask for their license to be given back to them. So that's some of the major changes that we are doing with this new SOB ordinance. Now, I would ask that you adopt this ordinance, the new ordinance, but the only thing that we are going to remove is going to be section 451C. But everything else, I would ask you to adopt it.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Jones? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, and I'll take care of that. We'll get that removed.
Okay, great.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Yes, sir. Under miscellaneous, appointment to boards, Ms. Grimaldo.
For the Ector County Appraisal District, reappoint Lori Reese Crutcher.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Do we have any citizen comments from?
No, sir.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We now stand adjourned.